Hello world, I'm Agitated Crane and we are about to finish Darksiders game. I did not... well, I mean... I did plan to finish the game, but at this point the end seemed so far away with all the collectibles and all the side missions and all the unique weapons that I wanted to collect. So before I jump to fight the final boss, a little bit of disclaimer. This video is probably going to be shorter because honestly I am a beast and the boss, I don't expect him to be... I remember him to be fairly easy, granted that was on normal difficulty, but even so. Gear wise, I have 4... wait. 1, 2, 3... 3 out of 4 pieces of Abyssal armor. The final piece is unlocked by finishing like wave 100 of the Crucible, and I don't have that wave unlocked yet. To unlock that wave I need level 25, which is impossible to gain in regular game. I am currently on level 22, and as you can see I have 0 out of however much experience. Now I'm not sure what contributes towards experience gain. If my observations are correct, if you are fighting enemies, you don't get experience, and even if you did, there are no places with enemy spam where you can reliably grind experience, so the only way to gain enough experience to level up is actually play the game, meaning completing the main quest and side quests. All of my side quests are completed. My main quest has only the final boss remaining, and so yeah, the only way to unlock the final part of the Crucible is through the New Game Plus. This is something that is confirmed by all the guys that I have found online. Another thing that I wanted to mention, the boots of the Abyssal armor. They are unlocked by completing wave, I think 75 or something like that, of the Crucible. That I did manage to unlock, but last time I checked they were actually worse than what I had. Yeah, I used to have these Executioner Sabatons, which have higher defense, more critical damage, more strength, and they actually have also a little bit of experience. It doesn't have... they didn't have arcane stat, which I don't need, and they didn't have critical chance, which I sort of need, but not really. So yeah, my Executioner Sabatons are supposedly better. Abyssal armor has synergy but with other pieces, but I'm not sure if that synergy activates when you have all of them, or if you have at least 2 of them, I don't know. The game doesn't tell you that. It only tells you that if it's combined with other pieces, the sets produce more powerful effects. So yeah, I have no idea. Another thing, I wanted to show you the weapons we have collected, because I never used them. So I read the lore, and yeah, I didn't actually show you how they look. They look exactly how they are portrayed on the icon, but anyway. So this is Gorewood Mole. I think I used this weapon actually for a long time because it has knockback ability. A very nice weapon. you get it by defeating the Gorewood, obviously. I used it because it has knockback power, and I think I bitched about knockback a lot already. Basically, if you are fighting enemies, they don't stagger when you hit them, which sucks. Masher of Karkinos gained by defeating Karkinos. If I remember correctly, you come across Karkinos during the main quest. So, yeah, easy to gain. Nice hammer. Never used it. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure I never used it. Well, maybe I briefly used it before I switched to Gorewood Mall. Skeletal Axe Friending. Friending, not rendering. Rendering is what my videos are doing. It has level 22, so I wonder, does it scale? Could it be? A nice axe. For most of these, I don't remember where I got them. If you are interested, you can look them up on the Darksiders wiki. Or you can waste a bunch of time watching all of my videos and seeing where I got them. So yeah, nice axe. Gauntlets of Savagery. I don't think I ever used fast weapons in this Let's Play. So we have these sort of claw weapons, and I think there is also like a buckler weapon. Anyway, yeah, they are nice looking. All the weapons in this game look great. Dark Talons, another fast weapon. So if you want to play a Wolverine character, you can do this. Huh. This charge is a little bit strange. I wonder if you charge into enemy, you get like more animation. Oh, Scepter of the Deposed King. This one you get when you kill the Deposed King, and that asshole is fairly tough fight if you don't know what you're doing. I also love that some of these weapons have sound effect, unique sound effect as well. Like, listen to this. You hear the ice sort of shattering or like falling off. So yeah, that boss fight took me, I think, 2 or 3 videos, but I would say it's one of the better boss fights in the game as well. Echidna Sphinx, this I remember, this you get by defeating Echidna and Basileus in Psychodameron, or whatever the dungeon is called. And actually, I'm pretty sure Echidna Fangs are one of the popular weapons with gamers, in quotation marks, because it has Searing Venom ability, or maybe because it has, yeah, I guess because it has Searing Venom. It siphons health from the foes, weakening them only to strengthen the Reaper. So yeah, that's fine. Leech Spines, don't remember where I got them, but they were used by Lord of Bones to depose the Deposed King. So that's nice. I also want to point out that this weapon design is a little bit different color-wise from other weapons. Like the other weapons have, I would say, predictable, if it makes sense, color palette. Like you can fairly easily mix and match weapons and armor sets, and they never have like colors that are too far away from each other. Like obviously there are some differences, but this weapon, like it hits you in the eye that it's like neon greens, right? Fists of Alhazar. I think this was a hidden weapon. Oh, see? So fist weapons are different from claw weapons. They have most of the animations are the same, but fist weapons actually have different charge attacks. Actually, same goes for slow weapons as well. You have axes, maces, and spears, and their fast attacks are the same, but their charged attack is actually different. Mortis. This one is a buckler. So bucklers... Buckler could be maybe a weapon that I should try. Well, not now, obviously, but like, if I ever play the game again, which I don't think I ever will. No, that's not fair. I'm pretty sure I will eventually play it again. Obviously not for the site, but like just for myself to refresh Darksiders memory. So yeah, bucklers are different because their charged attack is not actually an attack but a block. I don't think I ever used bucklers, not only in this playthrough but in previous as well. So I'm not sure if it protects you from the attacks or if it protects you from some of the attacks. Like you still get hit by strong boss attacks, or maybe it just gives you like damage reduction. I'm not sure, to be honest. But the lack of block is actually something I'm not sure if I complained about, but yeah, it's something that I noticed, that the dodges, while fine, you can see that the third dodge is actually makes you stop, which is very annoying. I would prefer that you be able to do 2 dodges and then no 3 dodge, but still continue to move, instead of that third dodge that makes you immovable for a couple of seconds. There are some fights that require you to dodge 3 times. If I remember correctly, the Gorwood boss fight actually does that. He has like those vine attacks, or I guess for my D&D friends, black tentacles that he sprouts from the ground that you have to dodge. And you have to actually utilize all 3 dodges because due to the way those vines move towards you. So yeah. And I'm not a fan of this not block dodge, because I'm used to dodging a lot, both from Darksiders 3 and Darksiders 1. And this is something that breaks that. That is supposed to be more agile, yet this is just not working. Again, I would have preferred some sort of stamina system, maybe, where you had like 2 dodges and couldn't do the third one, or maybe if you had like good stats, you could do more dodges. I don't know, it feels like wasted opportunity. But I wonder if I played with block, it would make the situation a little bit better. But at the same time, the hammers are used were doing such a massive damage. I'm not sure I would sacrifice my hammers for a little bit of block. Omega Blades, again, don't remember where I got them from, but I guess this is another weapon that clashes with other designs. You can see that the red is very, very visible. Wait. That's different, right? So we have gloves, bucklers, fist weapons, and now arm blades. Like, this is a fist weapon, so it has a different charge. Then we had buckler, and then we also have these gloves, which do this sort of charge. Huh. Okay, so there is actually more weapon variations. I was not aware of it. Sunder, I think it's angelic weapon, yeah. I don't remember where I get it exactly, but it's it is a spear. It is a slow spear for some reason. I don't know why they went with this direction, that spears are slow. But charge could be useful, maybe, in some situations, I'm not sure. I'm also thinking that maybe the charge... It seems like strong enough to stagger some enemies, right? Executioner hooks. Another nice weapon. Spear of Storms. I think we are getting now... I think this is the last weapon that I found. It's supposed to have lightning attack. You can actually hear it when I slash. Listen. The crackling of electricity. It's supposed to be area of effect, so it's the lightning would arc from one enemy to another. Again, shame I didn't use it. And I think now we are getting into the DLC weapons. Frostwing Twins are from the first DLC for defeating the Frostworm, if I remember correctly. And it looks like they are arm blades. They are considered arm blades. Nice. Abyssal Axe is axe we got from one of the hidden chests in Madsmith area. I think Madsmith is my favorite DLC. But it has, I would say, the most issues. Like, it has 2 rooms where you can softlock yourself, at the very least. Maybe it has even more, and I missed them. Abyssal Forge Hammer is the weapon you receive for defeating the Abyssal Forge. Again, nice hammer. Ice River is a weapon from the previous DLC that we played on Earth. And it's a random... well, not random, but like it's hidden in one of the chests. Same with Helmaul, also hidden in one of the chests. I also found Possessed Hammer in on Earth DLC that looked exactly the same. So if you like the hammer design but don't like the stats, you can actually find the Possessed Hammer there and then customize it with your own stats. And Belial's Trident is another spear weapon. You get it by defeating Belial. So, and actually I think I showed it in the previous episode as well. So that's that. Let us switch to Fletcher's Crowhammer and let's not delay the inevitable anymore. Let's jump into the boss fight and see what is there to see. If I remember correctly, there is no much exploring here. You just go towards the end of the tunnel and you fight the boss.
Have you ever wondered, Death, why you are untouched, while those around you wither and rot in the grip of corruption? Could it be that you are already blackened by the sin of betrayal? How can you defeat that which seethes in your own heart? You cannot stop me without forever damning your soul! Then so be it.
Defeat Avatar of Chaos. Ow. Ow. Did you bait it? Ow. One of these days, that execution will go through. Reminder, we are on apocalyptic difficulty. I think it may not be obvious due to how well we are doing, but that is because we are just so strong. So that's it, I think. That is why I padded the episode with a showcase of weapons.
Take my hand once more, brother.
What is wrong with the sound? Come on, game. You bugged me in the last episode as well.
I've killed Absalom. Stopped the corruption. I stand at last at the Well of Souls, with no idea what I must do next.
It is quite simple, and yet most difficult.
I'm in no humor for riddles, Crowfather.
You may tap the power of the well to return the kingdom of man, or you may resurrect the Nephilim. But know that choosing one will forever doom the other.
My brother war. I would protect him above all.
To return man to the earth will require a sacrifice. Thus, from death came life, and the seeds of humanity were resown. But death's journey was not ended. On the shattered earth, his brother War had slain the destroyer.
You will be hunted. The White City for certain, the Council, and there will be others. You would wage this war alone?
No. Not alone.
War had broken the seventh seal, summoning the horsemen of the apocalypse. And the number of the riders shall ever be 4.
So, that should be the end. And if you are like me, sorry. If you are like me, as I finished the first time the game back when it was released, you are like, what the fuck? Who is Absalom? What is happening? Why am I fighting some dude? Why am I jumping down the well? What is going on? I will try my best to explain, even though the story of this game, I would say, makes... I guess it makes sense, but let's try to piece the pieces together, right? So, the game begins with the very first game. Begins with the apocalypse, right? The seals were broken, and so, or so everyone thought. Mostly War thought that seals were broken, so he rode to Earth to deliver judgment or whatever his job is. But even though angels and demons were fighting there, they were like, what the fuck, no seals were broken, you are not supposed to be there. So he was depowered and captured by the Charred Council, who is like in charge of all the laws of the creation or whatever, right? At that point, War was imprisoned for like, I think it was mentioned that it's something like several hundreds of years. And after those several hundreds of years, he was released, and he was sent to Earth to find I think he is supposed to... My memory, as always sucks. I think he is supposed to find out what happened, but he ends up hounding the Destroyer, right? But that's the first game. In second game, that begins at the time where War is imprisoned. So he starts out with a quest to try to clear his brother's name, right? So he goes to see Crowfather for whatever reason, because Crowfather is apparently some sort of prophet or whatever. Crowfather gives him a lip, so instead that kills Crowfather, but during that fight his Crowfather's amulet is destroyed, and that amulet contains the souls of Nephilim. And the shards of this amulet, or I think it's lantern, if I remember correctly, the shards of this artifact containing the souls of Nephilim gets embedded into Death's chest. He then is sent flying through the I want to say void, abyss, something like that, and lands into the Forge Lands where makers live. There his main goal, if I remember correctly, is to leave. In order to do that, he has to reach the Tree of Life, but Tree of Life is locked by the corruption. So he ends up helping the makers to clear the corruption and proceed further on his quest. And his quest leads him to Kingdom of Death, because he wants to do what exactly? At this point I feel like I'm missing a step, because he initially wanted to clear War's name, and now he wants to restore humanity or something like that. I guess the reasoning behind it is if he erases the crime, then war is clear, right? So he goes to the Kingdom of Death to do something with humanity's souls. There he learns that corruption is preventing the souls from moving through the regular cycle. So his quest transforms into clearing corruption. So he is sent by Crowfather, who now for some reason helps him, even though he before was I would say antagonistic towards that, but now he's helping him. And he says to unlock the Well of Souls you have to go you have to have the Key of Angels and Key of Demons, right?
You
And
alone,
cliffhanger.
Lilith? Where are my Nephilim?
My prince,
The end war is upon us. Yet instead of the army you promised me, death has returned man to the balance.
I await your punishment.
Kinky.
This time, Lilith, you will get no pleasure from it.
Nightmare mode unlocked. New game plus. Let's actually start it. Yeah. So then he's supposed to clear the corruption, and then once he reaches the Well of Souls, he finds that the corruption is Absalom. Now, Absalom, you could have missed it, but there is, I think it's like one cutscene somewhere in the game where it explains that Death and other horsemen killed their kind, the Nephilim, in order to preserve the balance, because the Nephilim were like warlike race, and they were just going through the creation and waging war and like killing everyone or whatever, conquering worlds, I guess. So the four horsemen stopped them. They basically killed them. And the souls, I guess, of all the Nephilim were captured in that artifact, so they don't go, so they are not recycled and released back into the world, right, through the Well of Souls. But I guess Absalom's soul somehow made it there. I'm not entirely sure how. Maybe. This is fan theory. This is my fan theory. Maybe when the artifact containing the souls was broken and that was sent plummeting through the space between worlds, maybe during that period Absalom escaped and he started corrupting everything, but then at the same time the Forgelands make it sound like the corruption is something that has been happening for a long time. So I guess it's just one of the souls that just escaped, right? Somehow the capture. But he didn't enter into the cycle of life and got Rekama Sutraed into the world, but instead he started doing bad things in the balance. Okay, I guess. The problem with Absalom as a main villain is that we get almost nothing about him. We get from him those couple of lines when we finally meet him, and that's about it. Actually, no, I think we get something about Absalom the first time we go through the Tree of Life. I think after we leave Forgelands and go to the Kingdom of Death, we get a cutscene about Absalom. So I guess that is our setup. But you see what I mean? Like we get set up somewhere in the beginning of the game, where you basically jump from level 1 to level 2, and then you get the payoff and the boss battle at the entirety, like at the complete end of the game. Like when I first played the game, I completely forgot about that first cutscene. And so when I finally faced the boss, I was like, I have no idea who you are, but sure, I will kill you. So yeah, it's a little bit strange, and I am pretty sure the game, well, no, I'm not pretty, I am sure, I'm certain that the game was rushed. I'm not sure why exactly. I think at this point, when the game was supposed to be released, I think the studio, Vigil Games, I think at that point it was still Vigil Games. I probably should have actually. Let's go back. Sure. How does one?
There can be no life without order. Good, evil, darkness, light. There must be balance in the universe. Such is the decree of the Charred Council, an ancient body charged by the Creator to preserve the very fabric of existence. But the balance has been broken. Even now, Earth smolders in ruin, fallen to the demon lords, and the Destroyer carves a new kingdom amongst his mighty chosen. Some say the Horsemen War triggered the apocalypse, that he rode to Earth unbidden and doomed all of mankind. But what of the other Horsemen, fearless enforcers of the Council's will? What of fury, strife, and death? To know those names, you must first know another. Nephilim, cursed union of angels.
So that's the guy who is Absalom.
Nephilim had countless realms of the sword and burned them to ash. But 4 amongst them grew weary of the slaughter and feared their conquest would imperil the balance. And so a truce was made. The 4 would serve the Council in exchange for unimaginable power. Thus were the dreaded horsemen formed, and the riders' first task was to purge their own brethren from creation, to annihilate the Nephilim and destroy their soul.
And that's the lantern I was referring
Let
to.
us now cast our gaze to one amongst the 4, not War, who lies chained at the Council's feet, professing his innocence, but one who would save his brother above all else. He has many names: Kinslayer, Executioner, Death.
So the artifact was supposed to be destroyed, but I guess it was hidden with Crowfather.
To bargain for war's freedom, Death swore that he would resurrect humanity.
Okay, so I guess that
But he
that
knew
was
how
established.
this might be done. And so Death rode forth into the icy veil to find the Keeper of Secrets.
See, I feel like it is poorly done. Like it's a throwaway line in the beginning of the game, and if you missed it or if you forgot it, it's never reminded what you are actually doing. Well, no, I guess. I don't know. So what did I actually... Fuck, I missed what they wrote to me. So they actually gave me all the items except the collectibles, I guess. So I also wanted to check the difficulty we have. Detective, okay. So what is the nightmare mode? I guess one hit kill. So okay, so in the beginning it is explained that you want to resurrect the humanity, but then you are thrown into the Forge Lands, and Forge Lands is massive, and the plot of Forge Lands has nothing to do with resurrecting humanity. In fact, it is completely forgotten. So instead you focus on clearing the corruption. And then you or maybe not you, but I, as a little kid, I was like, what age was I then? Does not matter. But I basically forgot what the main quest was. And then once we get to the Kingdom of Death, we again go to see Lord of Bones. There is a small exchange there. You get reminded that yeah, you are trying to do something with humans, but he says that it's broken and that he wants you to complete his side quests. So you focus on that, and then you are told that the reason why something is broken is the corruption, and to clear the corruption you have to get the keys for the soul well. So you are sent to travel to the Lost Light and to the Black Throne, and again the humanity is not mentioned. So when that sacrifice is finally done, it's done like, I would say, if you are like me and you are doing all the side quests and collectibles and stuff like that, it's like tens of hours later, after the last piece of lore that you are actually trying to save humanity, you are remembering almost nothing about the Absalom, not the Absalom, about the Nephilim and Absalom specifically. You have no idea what is going on in that final fight. And then when you kill him, you get presented with credits and you go like, oh, that's the end of the game. Going back to game being rushed, I'm not sure if I remember this correctly, but I think this is the last game that was created by Vigil Games, and I think at that point they were already in financial troubles, and they were banking a lot on Darksiders 2 to basically get them out of trouble. And so they rushed the game to release it, even though it's clearly not finished. I just played through it. This is supposed to be definitive edition, and it still has issues. It's still a buggy mess. It's still I would say missing chunks of content. So the game did not do as well as they have expected, and so they, I think, bankrupted, or maybe they got bought out before. That does not matter. The point is, Vigil Games is no more, and the Darksiders franchise is now under THQ Nordic Games. So, the issues with this game, I honestly have no idea where to start. I covered the plot a little bit. Now let's cover the worlds. And by worlds I mean Forgelands, Kingdom of Death, Lost Light with Angels, that one Earth stage, and I think it's Blackstone or Black Throne or something like that for demons. Forgelands feels empty. Now, what I mean by feels empty. The game... No, the developers. Hold on. So, developers wanted to evolve Darksiders, so they decided that RPG is a right way to go with Darksiders. So they wanted the world to be more open. They wanted you to have equipment. They wanted you to talk with NPCs, have side quests, collect experience, gold, all that cool stuff. But they failed at that, and I am not sure if this is because the game was rushed, because I think that Forgelands and Kingdom of Death is actually finished. I think those two are what the game was supposed to be. And if you look at Forgelands and Kingdom of Death, you see that there are the number of NPCs you have in there, you don't need even both hands to count them, right? And yeah, when you speak with them, you have very limited options. Options that would not even need to be dialogue options. You could just have those two sentences that you can ask about be in the cutscene. Again, I have no idea why they weren't. Even the dialogue wheel is very, how should I put it, poorly designed. You have this fuck, what is the name of that? You have this square moving around. I don't know what they were thinking with that design. So that's dialogue. Side quests, you have side quests, but the side quests are like, aside from a couple that lead you to actual dungeons, the side quests otherwise are basically collect some shit. Is for collectibles which are hidden throughout the entire world. Again, very, I would say, annoying for a side quest. Gold was introduced instead of souls, and I would say this is another problem, because souls, if souls were treated as experience slash currency, I think it would have been better, because you are killing stuff all the time. But now, if I remember correctly, enemies do not yield experience, and they sometimes drop gold. Why? So you can't grind levels in this game, and as I mentioned, Crucible, for example, the final levels of the Crucible are locked behind the level, which you cannot reach in the normal game. So that's another issue. Then the reason why I say that Forge Lands feel empty, when you are introduced to Forge Lands, you get that Stonefather Vale area, right? And it's you don't know this initially, but it's it becomes eventually a boss arena. But even before that, you have this like huge plain, but there is nothing inside there. There are some collectibles and some places with side missions, with side mission objectives, but you don't have it from the start. So instead you are going around the perimeter of this vale, not vale, vale, Stonefather Vale, looking for stuff, finding nothing. You are questioning why there is so much empty space. And there are more areas like that, both in Forge Lands and Kingdom of Death. Again, strange decision. What else? I did say characters very few. RPG elements, gear. You have limited inventory space. What the fuck were you thinking with it? Like, look at this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 3, 21. You have 21 slots for... Now granted, you have 21 slots for each item type. But why do you have limited inventory? Especially since there are legendary weapons in this game, and you can find more of them than you actually have inventory spaces. And it's not like Diablo, for example, where you can put items that you like into a storage area and then retrieve them later. No, that's all. These 21 slots is all you get. And if you want to loot another weapon in this category, you have to actually sell your existing ones. I have no idea why they decided to do this. Besides, this is Darksiders. The art style of the game is incredible. And the design of these weapons is incredible. You want to collect all of them. And not only these legendaries, even like regular items, like you have Maker themed weapon, Dead themed weapon, Angel themed weapons, I mean. I saw a video of a guy playing Darksiders 2 and he had corrupted hammer, so you even have like corrupted weapons. So you have a bunch of interesting weapons with cool designs and you have nowhere to put them. Also, the use of weapons. You have primary and secondary. The combat is the combat, I would say, for the most part is the same as Darksiders 1, in the sense that you have it's sort of rhythm based, right? It's rhythm based, and the way you are changing directions, like for example you can do 2 slashes there and then slash back. You can if you are slashing fast you get this attack. If you slash, wait, slash again, you get a different attack. So that's cool, but I mentioned this in the beginning of episode. Dodges are something that I dislike with my entire being. If you wanted that to dodge, then do either limited number of dodges or have dodges rely on some stat, so you can increase it. Speaking of stats, what the fuck are these stats? Like what exactly... this fuck, there is a mosquito flying around. To explain, right? What the fuck is arcane stat? What does arcane stat do? Is it... does it increase wrath? Does it increase... Wait. Equip back. Toggle stats. Yeah, and that's the different stats. That's not explanation what the stats actually do. So what does arcane stat actually do? During the playthrough, I tried to go into Necromancer line. I selected all the abilities from the Necromancer tree. I changed my equipment to have arcane abilities, and my character was nerfed. Like I couldn't do damage with those abilities, and I couldn't do damage with weapons. So I was essentially fucked. Like I think at one point I was fighting the Wailing Ghost boss, and I couldn't go past his past one of his phases because he was healing at the end of it. So you had to do enough damage to like bypass his healing, and I couldn't do it with the Necromancer. So like honestly, I don't understand this at all. Like, is arcane stat, for example, affecting my abilities like harvest? But why? Shouldn't harvest be affected by strength since it's basically a slash? Unstoppable. Is unstoppable affected by arcane? No, it just gives you strength. Flat 50 strength. Like, what is affected by arcane stat? I have no idea. Aside from these barbed defilers, I think. These barbed defilers are... They increase in power based on the arcane strength. That's it. And even then, like, look at my stats. Right now I'm supposed to have very high strength stat. Even so, my arcane is also fairly high. So what? You don't really have crafting in the game. if you are struggling with something, you have no way to increase this the stats aside from using a different equipment. The equipment doesn't really drop. If it drops, it's some trash like this. The better like greens or whites, the better gear like blue, purple, usually drop from chests. Sometimes from enemies, very rarely, but usually from chests. Chests, if you pick up once, then you can't pick up anymore, right? So when I was upgrading these possessed double sides, I needed health steal. None of my weapons had health steal. I was lucky that I managed to find one merchant in the game that was selling weapon with health steal, and it consumed all of my gold. So like, if you are trying to build something specific, you can't really. You are relying on RNG. Even Vulgrim, he sells possessed weapons, stuff like this, and he sells it in logboxes. What the fuck? Why couldn't he sell like here? These are possessed weapons for warriors. These are possessed weapons for mages. Why couldn't it be like that? Legendary weapons, they are level based, it looks like. Why couldn't they be leveling up with you? Like these weapons are cool, and some of them have like specific abilities, like special abilities, like Midas Touch, Bather's Fire, or You Mad, Demon Fire, Blackheart. Like these are abilities that you would want to keep on your weapons. I think you can. No, you cannot sacrifice legendary weapons to your possessed weapons, so you can't transfer it in, and even if you could, it would be, in my opinion, bad design, because I would want to keep legendary weapons that have history associated with them. So you can't upgrade them, you can't, they don't level with you, you can't upgrade them, and you end up using possessed weapons, because possessed weapons you can upgrade several times, so you can find one that is fairly high level, higher than most of your other legendary weapons, and then look for stats on other weapons that you want, feed it to possessed weapon, and that will become your main weapon that you will rarely replace. Gear, same thing. Legendary gear becomes obsolete fairly quickly. You end up using mismatched armor. Talismans are pointless. You are basically you should be using Grim Talisman from the beginning. You get it in the beginning, and the special ability is the Beast. What other talismans are you receiving? Like compared to this, 26 Arcane when you are a fighter, 42 Strength, okay, but compared to Grim Talisman, where you can half the time needed to get to the Reaper form, which gives you a bunch of stats and basically invincibility, and yeah, I don't know if 43 strength is even worth it. Skills, again, you are like I don't know. Like I feel bad ripping into the game, because I really like this game. Don't get me wrong. I like the visuals in the game. Like, look at it. Look how beautiful it looks. Like, it clearly has similar style to Warcraft, right? And Warcraft even today doesn't look as good as Darksiders 2 looks. And Darksiders 2 is an ancient game at this point. I think it was released somewhere in 2007, maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah. Look how beautiful it is. Characters I like, those few that we meet. Death I like. We should probably talk about what developers were promising with Darksiders 2, because that's important as well. They were saying that this game will take place during War's imprisonment, which it does. But the way they made it sound, it sounded like he is going... That is going to clear his brother's name, right? So what I was thinking they meant by that is that we are going back to Earth, and on Earth we will be 2 or 300, I don't remember how long was War imprisoned, years before the events of the main game, of the first game. So we will be meeting the characters from the first game before, and I was thinking, okay, maybe we will have like, maybe Death will be the one to imprison Samael, maybe Death will have to help one of the Chosen or interact with one of the Chosen, and stuff like that. Like you would make changes to the world that War would later see in the game, right? But no, instead we are sent into this magical journey of exploring Darksiders universe, and that I like as well. It expands on Darksiders lore. Like, we get shown that there are more realms than angels, demons, and humans. There is Maker's World, there is Kingdom of Death. Abyssal Forge is somewhere in between, apparently. So yeah, and they were promising that it's going to be open world RPG, and that Death is more witty, I guess, more talkative, that War is more of a loner and he doesn't really speak much, but Death is like quippy and stuff like that. But like, think about it, aside from maybe some of the lines in DLC, you don't really have much of the lines that are memorable for that. I wouldn't even say that he talks more than War, compared to the first Darksiders game, where you have so many memorable quotes, like, I choose what once a coward did not, I would not have one of Heaven's champions die this day, or I'm not alone, and stuff like that. I don't know, I just remember the first one a lot, and the second one seems forgettable. It's probably because it's not finished, but yeah. And even on the Forge lands, I think if you watched my videos and you paid attention, when we meet Karn, the bolt maker that follows you on the adventures, I was speculating that maybe he's like brother of Ultane, because they have like similar color palette going on with blue clothes and stuff like that. But no, the brother of Ultane is actually Thane in the Forge. He's the guy that we fight, that trains some of our abilities. Training abilities. there are two trainers. They quickly teach you the abilities for gold, not for experience. They quickly teach you these abilities, and that system is entirely forgotten very quickly. Like I think after first quest you can unlock all the abilities, and that's it. Merchants. Speaking of that, merchants. They don't have randomized stock, so they have like fixed items that they have, and if you don't want them, you have nowhere else to go to get them, to get items that you are looking for. Back to Karn. So I was thinking that he is brother of Ultane, but then we learned that Tain is brother of Ultane, but then Karn gives us the quest to find a helmet that was given to him by his brother, but on the helm it is written that Ultane gave that helm to his brother Tain, and you are like, what the fuck is going on? And the same goes for a lot of item descriptions. Like if you look, for example, I don't really have like a specific item in mind, but you basically find items in places that don't make sense. Like you find demon weapon in Demonlands, but it says something like this weapon was lost for centuries, but like, okay, but you have it here behind the corner. How did you lose it? Or you have like stuff like some of the weapons mentioned in I'm not remembering specific examples, so I must sound very retarded. Yeah, I think I remember. One of these weapons mentioned Ostegoth. I think it's here. Yeah, here. The merchant Ostegoth claims that the sites are loose, seeking out a new and more worthy owner. Perhaps those weapons are possessed, blah blah. We do not get this weapon from Ostegoth. We find this weapon somewhere completely different, not related to Ostegoth at all. So, what the fuck? Then, for example, Leech Spines, we don't receive them from Lord of Bones, who supposedly used them to depose Argul, so he should have them, right? We don't get them from someone who stole them or something like that. We just find them in the random chest somewhere. It's strange. And it transfers to DLC as well. Like you have the very first DLC with Deposed King. It is supposed to be about Deposed King, but there is nothing about the Deposed King aside from the fact that the dungeon is frozen similarly as he was. There was that Frostworm, and but the way Frostworm talked, he didn't mention Argul at all, so was he just a mount or something? Like, I don't know. Madsmith DLC was cool, but it had, at the very least, 2 places where you could softlock yourself and have to restart the game to reload your position. Otherwise you couldn't, there was no way for you to escape those rooms. Similarly, all 3 DLC had places to go with nothing to see, if it makes sense. That mosquito is going to die one day, but not right now probably. It's still flying around me. buzzing into my ear. Annoying insect. So yeah, what I was talking about. Yeah, the design of the DLC dungeons. Like, it makes sense if there were some collectibles in the DLC, but there were none, right? So you ended up with some hallways that were just dead ends. And again, I understand that you don't want to have like just a straight corridor. You want to have places for player to go, that it doesn't feel restricting, but at the same time it feels like you are wasting time with stupid maze, right? What else? Right, back to game proper. Forgelands, sort of cool. Actually, very cool. I like the design of Forgelands a lot, even though, as I said, in places it feels empty. The dungeons are very cool. Sound in the game is great. The music is great. Graphics, great. As I said, the game looks beautiful. The music is beautiful. Forgelands, design of Forgelands dungeons is cool, makes sense. Design of Kingdom of Dead dungeons, cool. Although in Kingdom of Dead it feels a little bit samey. Like, the dungeons are fairly interchangeable since you are dealing with basically Deadlands, right? And undead. Unlike in Forgelands, even though you were dealing with corruption mostly, you still got like lava dungeon, water dungeon, ruins dungeon, stuff like that. That was cool. But then, after the Kingdom of Dead, you suddenly the worlds you are sent to are very, very small. And this, again, as I said, the game is not finished. I'm pretty sure both Angel World and Demon World were supposed to be more fleshed out, just like Forgelands, for example. But instead you have one dungeon in Angel World and one even smaller dungeon in Demon Lord. Demon, not Lord, World. You are sent briefly to Earth. I guess you could consider it as one dungeon for angels, I guess. It's a shooter section. I personally did not mind it. I would even say that the shooter section was decent. But I've seen online that people did not like the shooter section, that it went for too long and it was very spammy. Again, I personally didn't mind. What I did mind is that we didn't see, aside from Uriel, who had like one line maybe of dialogue, we didn't see much of the characters we know on Earth. Even like the Swarm, right? Uriel makes a big deal that Swarm is... I think at one point she even mentions that Swarm is one of the Chosen, but we only see the zombies that the Swarm is sending towards us. Or are we supposed to think that Swarm is like hive mind and all these zombies together form the Swarm? I don't know. If that is the case, that was not explained properly. I would have expected there to be like a Swarm boss, like a Chosen, right? So there is that. I don't know. Bugs in the game. I have experienced several crashes. some crashes, like for example, the menu when you go to O menu, which is like your inventory, character, skills, map, stats, move list, all of that. When you leave this menu, sometimes the game crashes. Now I discovered that this is because what do you call it? This is caused by either shader settings, shadows settings, or VSync settings. I finally managed to somehow optimize the game so it doesn't crash, but why are some of the settings in your game causing it to crash, even in definitive edition? Another thing that causes the game to crash is when you alt tab from the game, and oh my fucking god. So the collectibles, right? There is no way you are going to find all the collectibles on your own. I mean, you probably could, but it would take you a huge amount of time. And at some point you will eventually want to look up a guide where all the collectibles are. Then, to check the guide, you will have to alt tab, check what you are looking for, go back into the game, and go to the place and loot it, right? Well, fuck you. If you alt tab, game sometimes crashes. There you go. The collectibles. Now I started a new game, so I can't really show you the collectibles, but... Ooh, can I see... No, it's new stats, so I probably don't even have like... Yeah, there are not even deaths. Okay, so collectibles are not numbered. Like for example, in Darksiders 1, you had artifacts of the Legion, if I remember correctly, and the Legion artifacts were they were not exactly numbered, but they had like their spot in the collection screen. So if you missed one of them, you knew which one you are missing, and in the guide you knew which one you are looking for. In here the collections are not numbered at all, so when you are finally looking for the collectibles, you have to actually go through all the collectibles and look through all the places where the collectibles could be, because you don't know which one you already have and which ones you missed, because obviously you don't remember that. So there is that as well. Boatman coins, they are pointless. They are used to buy logboxes from Vulgrim. Like logboxes, what the fuck are you doing with logboxes? Logboxes is a cancer on gaming. I'm on my site. I now have a blog, and I have some ideas for a blog, and actually the issues I have with modern gaming is actually one of the blogs that I'm planning, where I'm going to talk about DLC, microtransactions, loot boxes and stuff like that. So yeah, all of that. Some of the characters, like Lilith for example, that's a huge lore character, and yet we get like one line from her. What? Yeah. As always, my ramblings right now, they are not scripted, so I'm probably missing something. Oh, back to the bugs. Fuck, I forgot about this bug. So, you know how you have controls? Now, it would make sense that you would want to rebind the controls, right? Now, let's say you want to rebind... I guess we don't... No, here they are. Let's say you want to put Wrath Potion on 2 instead of on 6, right? So what the games... And as you can see, I have Unstoppable on 2. So what games usually do is they would say, okay, you are putting 2 on Wrath Potion, now Unstoppable is without the key, please correct it. Look what this game does. Already mapped to Unstoppable. Okay, so it actually works better than I expected, but it still works wrong. When I was changing it, I did not see that you can actually... that it prompts you to remap already. Fuck. So instead what I was doing, I would go to the button that I need, I change it to something completely different, then go back to the original button that I wanted and assign it to the ability that I wanted. Now here is the problem, right? Let's say I wanted to put Wrath Potion on Y. And now you see that it moved me back upstairs. So I have to scroll back, change Reaper form to 2, for example. Actually not 2, it was on... the Wrath Potion was on 6, right? So 6, and it jumps me back to the top. So yeah, it's... I'm sorry, but it feels messed up. Like I know I'm stupid and I misunderstood how rebinding works, but even then it works very poorly. So that is that. Map, another issue. You have to move the map with like if you are moving it in let's say on the touch screen. What is this decision? Why are we using touchscreen controls in the PC game? I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a port. But even then, does the other game, I mean, does the console that this game was originally intended for have touchscreen for shit like this? I don't know. So yeah, this game has a bunch of issues. It's pain in the ass to complete due to the bugs. But even then, as I said, it looks beautiful. It has a great soundtrack. It expands the lore, like it shows you the different worlds. It explains you how the Well of Souls works and stuff like that. The Crowfather, the Nephilim, Lilith. There is a bunch of it, right? but I don't know. It just fails somehow. I think I covered most of the things, and I think at this point I'm just rambling pointlessly, so I think I should wrap it up. Let me think, is there anything else to cover? Yes, actually. Despair, which is your horse. Now, I understand that this is a dungeon crawler first and foremost, and you haven't really used Ruin in first Darksiders that much either. Mostly in Ashlands, other than that you were mostly on foot. But still, I don't think there is one zone in Darksiders 2 that relies on Despair, which is your horse. There is one boss fight, the very first, I think, boss fight against the Guardian, which which requires you to ride. But other than that, I guess in Kingdom of Death and in Forgelands you use Despair to move around, but I don't know. To me it almost feels like he's not in the game, since you can basically teleport between dungeons anyway. And aside from that first the first world boss, you don't really use him that much. Your other companion, Raven Dust, you can see him there, the purple guy. Dust was supposed to be like your navigator on the world. The problem is that he is retarded. I'm not sure where he is supposed to point you. I think he is supposed to be pointing you towards the main objective, but I never followed him. I usually go where I'm supposed to go without him, and the couple of times that I paid attention to where he is actually pointing me, he pointed me in the wrong direction. I think there is one video in I think the Cauldron dungeon where my game crashes, and when I reload the game I look for the dust to see where I'm supposed to be going in the dungeon, because it basically puts me a few rooms back. So I look for the dust and he actually points me in the wrong direction. So yeah, he doesn't really do much. And speaking of dust, I think he, in his description, perhaps another trick of the Crowfather or another curse. So he is related to Crowfather. And Crowfather, I have no idea who Crowfather is. Is he supposed to be a Nephilim? He is keeper of secrets. It was mentioned, but what is he? He is not a demon, he is not an angel, he is not a maker. I don't think he is Nephilim either. He can't be human. I have no idea who he is. I don't know why when we go to see him he is an asshole to us, and then he helps us. There is a bunch of gear related to him, namely crow sights, for example. Well, crow sights don't actually mention him by name, so crow armor, for example. Fuck again? Yeah, okay, so here. Some claim that the armor was forged by the Madsmith. Oh, so Madsmith is actually mentioned in the game as well. Others say it once belonged to Crowfather in his suit. So, who was he in his suit? Well, and it looks like he was like a fighter based on the stats, right? So who is Crowfather? Not explained. Again, I don't mind that it's not explained, but it's like he narrates your actions throughout the game during the loading screen. I think I included some of them in the Let's Plays, but yeah, I don't know. As I said, the game is not polished, it's not finished. It's a shame, frankly, because it has some decent ideas, but yeah. I managed to finish it. I challenge you to do the same. And I think I covered everything, and I'm tired, and I think no one is going to listen to this anyway, so fuck you guys. I'm now working on Darksiders 3. I think I only recently... What was the last thing I did in Darksiders 3? I killed Greed. No. Greed was fairly long time ago. I killed... Slot, I think is the last boss that I finished. So yeah. If you are interested in Darksiders, check my Darksiders 1 Let's Play, Darksiders 3 Let's Play. I will be playing Darksiders Genesis as well, but I want to make a quick break before starting playing again, because I have played like 3 Darksiders game in a row, so I want a change of lore, if you will. So I will be trying, once I finish Darksiders 3, I will be trying a different game, and sometimes later I will jump into Darksiders Genesis, and hopefully Darksiders 4 with Strife is going to be released soon as well. So yeah, I have been Agitated Crane, goodbye. Thank you for watching the video, I hope you were entertained. Consider subscribing to my site. My plan is to play through a lot of games, both new, old and maybe even ancient. I would also like to start writing a blog regularly about movies, TV shows, books, comic books and hell, whatever else comes to my mind, I guess. Since I'm trying to be a writer and game developer as well, I will try to post some of my short stories or updates about games that I'm currently working on. But don't worry, if you subscribe, I won't spam you with all of that. I will be sending out an update when I start a new playthrough, with mention which game was finished before, so you will know which game just got finished and can be binged without waiting for the next episode, and you will know which game I'm playing currently and if it will interest you. And I guess I will occasionally throw in a blog post that I'm very passionate about and really want you to read. This is mostly about some news that really concerns me. So yeah, subscribe. I've been Agitated Crane, and goodbye.